Hello everyone. I just found a couple of days ago a article by some website called, let me have a look, Critical Game Lab, I think it's called, CFP, something like that. I think it's some kind of editorial journal, social justice in nature, and I think they're talking about gamers in Gamergate and how they're going to deal with us. I'm going to read through it. I found it on Kotaku in Action. I can't find the thread, but I'll read through this. It's not too long. It's about the need for a journal to talk about Gamergate and how to deal with us, as I just mentioned before. So, without further ado, let's do this. CFP, Video Games, Culture and Justice. Call for Papers, Video Game, Culture and Justice. That's what it stands for, Call for Papers. The purpose of this edited volume is to propel game studies towards more responsive existence in the area of social justice. Now immediately alarm bells are ringing for me. Social justice. You know when they actually use social justice? You know you're in for a treat. The text will attempt to move beyond a descriptive level analysis of what and begin engaging the why, highlighting the structural and institutional factors perpetuating inequalities that permeate gaming culture and extend into a myriad of institutions. The public outcry associated with Gamergate has put why at the forefront of game studies. Ah yes, the public outcry. Do you mean the people that were complaining within your echo chambers and hug boxes on Tumblr and Twitter? Right, because as far as I'm aware, most of the public at large seem largely neutral and apathetic towards both sides. I'll be completely honest with you. In fact, most people probably have never heard of it. Gamergaters, I can't believe so-called academics actually use that name. They're just all they're all just the same, aren't they? Who gain media attention through their misogynist and racist attacks on women gamers and developers. Wow, so now we're racist as well as misogynist. Oh dear. Never mind not your shield, but then again they're all sock puppets to these racists. Yeah, you're the actual misogynists and racists, alright? Let's get that straight. And nobody ever attacked women, gamers or developers. You were the ones who attacked them. Last I checked, you're the ones censoring people like Obsidian and attacking Favre over their views and jokes. Right, what did Gamergate do? Oh yes, defend these people. Well, never mind, let's carry on. Even tried to justify their campaign as an attempt to restore the ethics needed in video game journalism, which is what it is. Stop trying to be sarcastic. This attack, it's an attack apparently rather than a defence. We were the ones on the defensive. You're the ones who attacked us with the Games Are Dead articles. Don't forget that. Directed at social justice warriors, you just use social justice in this paragraph alone. Why are you putting that in quotations? Brought the hidden reality of harassment, cyberbullying, sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia and other injustices to light. No, the only thing it really showed was your own projected racism, homophobia and transphobia and other injustices to light. Gamergate doesn't really have any of that. If there are, it's either fringe people or trolls using the hashtag, as has been frequently pointed out and proven to be the case. These attacks are part and parcel of gaming culture. Wow, so apparently now gaming culture is full of rabid, crazy, misogynist bigots of all kinds who just attack people because that's what we do apparently. Okay, never mind that I'm a mixed race gamer and I have never done that, and I know 90% of gamers are not like that. Challenges to lack of diversity or the gross stereotypes are often met with demonisation and rhetorical violence directed at those who merely seek to help gaming reach its fullest potential. Oh yes, of course. The gross stereotypes that you guys perpetuate, the basement dwellers, the troglodytes, the white nerds, so that gaming hasn't actually been, since it became an affordable commodity. Hell, it's not been like that since the 70s when they were marketing it towards boys and girls. In fact, even adults too. If you look at the old box art, it's an entire thing for the entire family to enjoy. Men, women, boys, girls. Doesn't matter what colour you are, anyone can enjoy a game. And as we've seen in the variety of memes, you go to XOXO, it's full of white people. if you go to a fighting game tournament, as diverse as it could possibly be. Honestly, people. And they preach to us that they want to help gaming reach its fullest potential. We would have been fine without these people. We are already reaching our fullest potential without their help. If anything, these are the kind of people that will rein it in, pull it back, set it back 30 years. You know, these are people like the Catholic Church during the Dark Ages. They put a stop on scientific development and philosophical development and human advancement for the next, dare I say, 1,000 years, until the fall of Constantinople, and that brought about the Renaissance, as the Byzantine people who fled brought with them their culture and their books and their art and technology, and also the Arabs began to influence the medieval Christians, and they began to become enlightened, and that became Enlightenment. But never mind. That's what they will bring to us, a dark ages of gaming. And they're already trying. I mean, they've already won the censorship. What next? Yeah, in these struggles, we must move beyond individual acts of prejudice, discrimination, and microaggressions. Oh yes, microaggressions. You know, those silly things like, oh, you write English perfectly for someone whose English is their second language. So, you know, to examine the structural and institutional factors that allow them to exist. There is no problem in gaming for that. The only real problem is in your community, in the social justice. That's where the problem lies. But this is our projection, guys. We must look at how the daily practices sustain what Mark Anthony Neal, oh dear, one of the fucking four horsemen of this lot, isn't it, calls micro-muses and lived reality of violence on and offline. Of course, here we are. These people don't understand what reality is. They confuse fantasy for reality. I mean, this is a common trait amongst all social justice warriors. Amid this culture of violence, the gaming industry has embraced the rhetoric of diversity and inclusion. We had embraced it for the last 40 years, long before you were even a thing, social justice warriors. So don't start get this whole monopoly on diversity. You never had it, and you never will. You know, my gaming group alone has several transgender people, minorities, including myself, you know, men, women, you know. What have you got? You're mostly white, male, and female, and you're rich. And I went to university. In response to protests, game developers have incorporated statements asserting their commitment to producing diverse games and building an industry no longer dominated by white men. Oh, what is this problem? What is this obsession with white men? So the reason why it's dominated by white men is because they're the dominant population, just by numbers, not by power. If you would go to any company, it would be, and it had perfect diversity, it would be 30% black, 1% Native American, 5% whatever, and 90% white, or 80%, doesn't matter, or whatever, you know. These idiots. Given the post-racial rhetorical turn of the last 6 years, oh, post-racial, yeah, you were the guys who were saying colourblind is now racist. It is important to push conversations about gaming and gamers beyond diversity, to expose the disconnect between rhetorics of multiculturalism and the struggle for justice and equity. You guys are the biggest threat to justice and equity since fascism. It is important to highlight the contradiction between ideals of inclusion espoused within the game industry and society as a whole, and the persistence of injustices within the structural and institutional context in which they may have developed. This compilation not only seeks to answer these questions, but to produce work that intervenes in the culture of violence and inequity from which these works emanate from inside and outside of academia. Now, you just know this is going to be fair and balanced, just like Fox News. Traditionally, academic public discourses concerned with criminal justice focused on issues pertaining to crime and legal justice. Within game studies, there's been an effort to examine criminogenic effects of violent video games on the streets. Look, we've already proven that it doesn't cause violence. In fact, I'm not saying that correlation equals causation, but since the rise of video games, rape and violent crime has actually fallen. Now, if correlation does mean causation, that means people, whether it be men or women, who could be going out there killing people and hurting people are busy playing Grand Theft Auto. That's a good thing. It's been proven that games don't make people violent or sexist. But you see, these people always try to claim that they're not the next Jack Thompson, yet here we are. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? We must move beyond this simple construction of justice in video games. This interdisciplinary text defines justice broadly, but in terms that speak to the struggle of racial, gender and social justice. Moving beyond abstract principles, the collection focuses on the stakes playing on the virtual reality. Again, no bearing on what is fantasy and what is reality, because these people wouldn't know reality if it slapped them in the face. Demonstrating that the ways that struggles for justice online, in the policy booth, in the courthouse, in our schools, in legislatures and in streets must be waged online. So basically, they're going for an all-out propaganda culture war, which they started, but are trying to pin the blame on us. But we really know who started it. We didn't. We all know what happened in August 11 months ago. As such, this collection seeks a broader range of critical perspectives on justice issues within gaming culture, seeking whether gaming culture can foster critical consciousness, aiding in participatory democracy and affect social change. Gamergate is already proof of that. Gamergate is a democracy. It is an effect for social change. We have changed many gaming websites, ethics policies. We have exposed you for what you are. And we have a critical consciousness. Just look at the amount of websites and YouTubers that have sprung up because of Gamergate. That is a critical consciousness. You don't need to look far to find it. But of course, it's not the critical conscious that you are looking for. You're looking for something that fits your narrative. Something that is confirmation bias. That fits your agenda. It will give voice to the silenced and marginalised. We were the ones who gave voices to the silenced and the marginalised, not you. Not your shield. They wouldn't have had their voice if it weren't for Gamergate. Because you guys have shut them up and spoke for them. Offering counter-narratives to those post-racial and post-gendered fantasies that so often obscure the violent context of production Wait. Suspended production consumption have a violent context. These people are insane. These people are crazy. I mean, call me an uneducated gimp, but as far as I'm aware, we do live, at least we're trying to attain a post-racial, post-gender world where these things are superficial. It doesn't matter. But these people, so-called progressives, are holding us back. Yet these people are wondering why we are where we are. Honestly. In offering this framework, this volume will be grounded in the concrete situations of marginalised members within the gaming culture. The only marginalised people are the ones without the voice, the ones who cannot give voice because they're frightened of rabid social justice warriors and feminists who are looking out for whatever they say, and if they say something wrong, they will be pounced upon and an entire hate mob will be launched upon them. These are not ethnic minorities. These aren't even in the way that you imagine them to be. These are people of all creeds and races and religions, etc. Because you are totalitarians and authoritarians. You want these people marginalised, otherwise you have nothing to complain about. You create your problems in order to complain about them. And we're near the end, people. Don't worry. Early career scholars, game industry personnel, gaming activists. Gaming activist? What the fuck is that? Graduate students. Hey. Don't worry. I haven't done shit like this. I'm a historian. My thing is facts and critical thinking. These people is just conjecture and bullshit, basically. And others are invited to submit work and addressing the connected themes of video games, culture and justice. Suggested essay topics may include, but are not limited to, this is a long list. You guys can read the list for yourself. It's pretty much what they've been talking about. And then it goes on about submitting stuff and a few details, and I've just seen the pictures of some of the people. Bloody hell. Typical social justice warriors. So basically, they're trying to fight back. They're trying to have an academic push against us, but it's not going to work because we are winning. We have the SPJ airplay thing that's coming on, and none of these academics are raising their hands and saying we will debate people like Oliver Campbell and whoever is on our side trying to debate. It's not going to work. The only thing, people who will read this and get something out of it in a positive way is their own little echo chamber. They're little cretins that always support whatever they do, and thankfully sane people will not read this, or they will read this and come and find it to be bias and agenda driven bullshit. But you know what, that's enough from me. I've said all I can say. This has been Charming Man 93. Like and share the video, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.